Lesson 3, Properties of Natural Resources. In this lesson, we will study about the properties of air, water and soil. So let us recall what we have studied in Standard 6. So which are the gases present in air? Air contains nitrogen, oxygen, carbon dioxide, hydrogen, inert gases, etc. Inert gases are helium, neon, argon, krypton, xenon and radon. Why is air called a homogeneous mixture? Different gases are distributed uniformly in every part of the atmosphere. What are the uses of the various gases in air? You know that oxygen supports life, it helps in combustion, and nitrogen creates an inert atmosphere, etc. Properties of air. Air is all around us. We cannot see it, yet we feel the presence of air. If we blow our hands through our lips, we can feel air. Air is a mixture of gases. It has mass and weight. Pressure exerted by air is called atmospheric pressure. Next is an experiment to prove that air has weight. So take a stick and tie a thread at its center. Hang it so that it remains horizontal. Tie two rubber balloons of same size at the two ends of the stick. See that the stick remains horizontal. Now remove one balloon, inflate it and tie it again at its original position. The stick no longer remains horizontal. The stick goes down on the side of the inflated balloon. So this means that air has weight. Air is a mixture of gases. The molecules of gases in the air are in constant motion. When these molecules strike a body, they create pressure on that body. This pressure of air is called atmospheric pressure. Experiment. Take an injection syringe without needle as shown in the figure. The piston can be pulled out easily. This part is the piston. The piston then remains in that position even you let it go. Now close the inlet hole of the syringe tightly with your thumb. Pull the piston and let it go. So you can see in the picture. The force required to pull out the piston is more than before and the piston will move in after you let it go. So let's see the reason. On pulling the piston with the inlet hole of the syringe closed, more space become available to the air in the syringe. So compared to the first one, we can see more space become available. Or we can say that the volume is increased. Air becomes rarefied or it has become less dense. As a result, the pressure of the air in the syringe is lowered. Comparatively, the pressure of the outside air is very high. Since the external pressure is high, they will apply a force on the piston and the piston will immediately pushed in. So that is why when the pulled out piston is released, it is immediately pushed in. The experiment can be repeated by holding the syringe in different positions like vertical, horizontal, or inclined. We can see that the piston will go to the same extent in all the cases. So atmospheric pressure is same in all directions. Is there any atmospheric pressure on the moon? There is no atmosphere on the moon. So atmospheric pressure is also absent. Next is an experiment. Take some water in a plastic cup and hold a straw upright in it. Like this, upright. Hold a small piece of another straw near the upper end of the first straw. This one. And perpendicular to that of the first straw. Blow hard through the small piece of straw. Here you have to blow. You will see a fountain of water. Why did this happen? On blowing through the straw, air at its open end is pushed away. So when we blow, air at its open end is pushed away. Then the pressure of air at the opening goes down. Or we can say that it is less than atmospheric pressure. So we can see that water is pushed in the upward direction in the form of a fountain. The more forcefully you blow, more will be the lowering of pressure and higher will be the fountain. This straw fountain works on Bernoulli's principle. Bernoulli is the name of a scientist. According to him, if a body is moving through air, the air pressure decreases perpendicular to the direction of the motion, and then the air in its surroundings flow rapidly from the higher pressure to the lower pressure. What is the effect of increased temperature on the pressure of air? The molecules of the gas will move with a greater energy when the temperature is increased. This means more collision with each other and the sides of the container. So pressure is increased. How winds are formed? When there exists a difference in the air pressure at two different places, air starts flowing from the place of higher pressure to the place of lower pressure. Thus, winds are effects of difference in air pressure. Next is experiment. Take some ice cubes in a glass up to 3/4 of its height. Now observe what happens. How did the water droplets appear on the outside of the glass? You can see water droplets. The water droplets are here. Due to ice cubes in the glass, air surrounding the glass cools down. As the water vapor in this air cools down, it condenses and gets transformed into water. Condensation is a process in which water vapor is turning back to liquid water. It is this water that collects on the outer surface of the glass. Humidity. Humidity is the measure of the amount of water vapor in the air. The level of humidity is different in different places. The humidity level changes from time to time during the period of a single day. During the night or at dawn, when the temperature is low, its capacity to hold water vapor is less. At such times, the excess vapor is transformed into droplets. This is called dew. In the afternoon, when the temperature of the air is high, the capacity to hold water is also increased. We feel the air is dry. The proportion of water vapor in the air is high during the monsoon and in coastal areas. So we feel dampness or humidity. In summer, wet clothes dry quickly, but in rains they do not. Why? In summer, the temperature is high and the humidity is less. But in monsoon, humidity is more. So clothes dry quickly in summer. Dip an uncorked inverted empty bottle in a slanting position into the water in a white container. What do you observe? The bottle is not empty, it is occupied by air. Air that occupies the empty space of the bottle tries to come out, which can see in the form of bubbles, and water gets filled up. You can see the bubbles. What change takes place in a balloon on filling air in it? So this is an inflated balloon. This is before inflating and after inflation. So you can see the change. Volume and mass of the balloon increases. We come to know from the activities above that air has properties like occupying space, having a certain volume, having mass and weight. Air is a mixture of very fine particles of some gases, dust, smoke, moisture, etc. When rays of light fall on these minute particles, the particles spread the light in all the directions. This natural phenomenon is called scattering of light. Temperature regulation. Earth receives energy from the sun. This energy is reflected by the earth in the form of heat. You know that sun gives us heat energy and light energy. The constituents of the air surrounding the earth, such as water vapor, carbon dioxide, absorb a part of this heat and give it to the other constituents of air. As a result, the earth's surface remains warm and thereby becomes suitable for the living world on the earth. If there were no air on the earth, the average temperature of the earth's surface would have been very low. What would happen if all the air surrounding us is removed? If all the surrounding air is removed, all living things will die. Because air sustains life. Will sound be heard in space? No, sound will not be heard in space. Because sound always needs a medium for its transmission. In space, there is no air, so transmission of sound will not take place. All the sounds that we hear reaches through the surrounding air. The density of air also changes due to the change in its temperature. So in winter, the density of air increases. We can hear the whistle of a distant train clearly early in the morning in winter. Air is useful as a medium for the transmission of sound.